Fathergamer podcast.
So, it has been a while. We haven't really done a show in a while. I'm here with Kyle. By the way, I'm Eric, Fathergamer. This is Kyle. And
Kyle.
he's Kyle. And I want to go through our Game of the Year for 2015 as kind of our first show back. And it's just going to be us two talking about, I think we're probably the only ones that have played most of the games on my list.
I'm feeling, if not all of them, 95%.
If not all of them. So, it was a great year. Like, we had some great stuff.
Much better than 2014.
Yeah, definitely. And it feels like, and this is typical with the console generation, the developers are kind of slipping into that second year. Like, they know how to program. Things are kind of cool. Things are a lot more polished. And you could feel it with this one.
Or get back on good sides of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking at you, Ubisoft.
Yeah, Ubisoft, definitely, they stepped up their game a little bit this year.
They most certainly did.
So, what I want to do is we'll go through, this is actually my list of my top 10 games. Now, that doesn't mean that there wasn't other games that I didn't enjoy. We'll kind of get into that. We'll also get into some games that I did not enjoy or was, almost pissed at that with one particular game. And,
I got pissed at a game, but of course it's only completely natural to get pissed at a game.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine to get pissed off. I mean, I get pissed off all the freaking time. Sorry, we're trying to be a little more PG-13 with this one. So
it wasn't even me who busted the.
I know. So we're gonna start off with number 10 on my list.
Oh, number 10.
Number 10, Until Dawn. That is from Supermassive Games. I enjoyed the heck out of this game. I'm a huge horror fan. Not horror fan. Yeah, my accent's always great with that.
Matt was here.
Sometimes I might be a horror fan. It depends on if I want to watch Pretty Woman. But we'll have to if we start singing it.
I didn't finish it.
Yeah, what I liked about this game is, one, the script was amazing, and the fact that your decision making really reflected very well in the actual gameplay. Like,
let's just say you can screw somebody's night up pretty bad.
You can screw a lot of people's night up pretty bad in this game, and if you're a really, really big fan of the horror genre and really big into choose your own adventure almost in a way.
If you've played Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls, this is what you want to play.
Yeah,
sure.
It's completely in that vein. Supermassive Games, you did a great job on this. I'm really excited to see what they've got next.
I am too. They just keep surprising me.
So hopefully we'll see some more. They probably have announced something I haven't actually looked, being that I've been ill for so much. Yes.
Ill.
Sick. Yes.
Yes.
Ill.
Catching up on words, too.
Well, that's the thing, and I guess I should explain it why I've been gone, because we actually did a show, and I was so sick that I deleted it by accident when we were editing. Yeah, I had mono, and what was about 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
Like 1 month, I don't even remember.
3.5, something like that.
And then the good thing is I got to play a lot of games. The bad thing is a lot of the time I was laying on the floor wishing that the cold grip of death would take me at any moment, because it was pretty terrible. So, and then I got pneumonia, then I got whatever and everything. So I'm back. I haven't killed anybody in the group, so don't worry. We'll definitely be back. Actually, we're recording a new episode very soon. So, let's move on. Number 9, Tales from the Borderlands. Did you play this?
I did not. See, there's the 95%.
Telltale Games. I'm pretty sure you know this, but anyone who's listening, I'm a huge, speaking of horror, I'm a huge whore for Telltale games. Like, I love their games.
They're really good, and I need to play the Game of Thrones one.
Yeah, they're. I mean, okay, they've had some games, of course, that have been misses, like Jurassic Park.
That was their first one. That was mainstream.
Yeah, that was mainstream. That was but ever since about Back to the Future, which is around that same time period, though, they've started to
pick things up. Now, Walking Dead is where it went crazy.
Oh, Walking Dead went crazy. My daughter and I have played 1 and 2 on every console.
I need to finish the second season.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I'm on like episode 4 of the second season.
It is very good, and they have a Michonne one coming out. It's like a 2-parter.
And me being a personal hero fan of the DC genre, Batman gets one too.
Batman is getting one as well. Well, these guys did a fantastic job. This is set pretty much right after the events of Borderlands 2. So
Makes sense.
It's a new guy coming in to basically try to take over the place of Handsome Jack.
Yeah.
And
because I'd seen some stuff. There's a hologram. There's a part in it where you see Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I knew it was around, if not after.
It's a very, very good game. Like, it is probably one of the best, if not, it is in their top, I would say, 3 or 4 games that they've done. I would highly recommend it, and it's very funny. Like, it is actually a very funny game, and that's, sometimes we don't get that enough in gaming, that they can act, there's humor, but them actually pulling it off is nice. So, good job, Telltale Games. The next one, number 8, is Rocket League.
Addicting.
Very addicting.
Gosh, addicting.
Like, I'll admit, when I first saw Rocket League, I was like, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. It's not kart in the title, so I don't care if it's a kart game. So, plus, it's sports kind of as well.
To me, that's the best sports game of 2015.
It is.
That's, to me, the best sports game.
As soon as the thing with the game that really got me is, yes, it's a big giant ball, and it's lots of speed. When you first look at it, you're like, Speed Demon. You're looking at it, but like any good game, the simplicity is how complex it is. Like, there's simplicity in its complexity, if you can understand that a little bit. Like,
yeah.
It's a very complex game, and understanding how the physics works and stuff, but it's very simple at the same time. And as soon as you get that, as soon as you understand,
you're unstoppable.
Yeah, you're unstoppable.
Ransom. I'm sorry, Ransom, for my buddy, but hot dang.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
You're gonna need some coaching from some professionals.
If you go to YouTube, the Cinnamon Links YouTube, you can watch Ransom's first foray into Rocket League. It was very interesting, to say the least. I was with him, and it was pretty rough. Poor Ransom.
Just say you could mystery science the the whole way through.
And if you get a good team together, like you and Colby, we were pretty unstoppable. I would set it up, and you guys would knock it in every time.
Oh,
so
gosh, yes, and
that
became a good goalie.
And they've done a lot of good stuff. They've added. They did a second season. They also have they have a hockey mode as well now.
Really?
With eyes and a giant puck. And I also got the DeLorean from Back to the Future, which was pretty awesome as well.
Is that for the PlayStation? Because I know...
Yes, that's on the PlayStation.
I think the Xbox got the Warthog from Gears of War.
It's getting a Gears of War and a Halo.
Yes. That's
something
right.
or other.
A Warthog and a Gears of War.
So definitely Synox, how do you say that? Psionics, whatever they're. I think it's Psionics, but I might be wrong. But you guys, yes, it is Sonics. You guys did a fantastic job, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be making a ton of Rocket League stuff from now until the end of time,
or at least something along the lines.
Yeah, I would say
Rocket Foosball.
Rocket Foosball.
Same thing, but
number 7. Now. I'll go ahead and say it was Assassin's Creed Syndicate. The last Assassin's Creed was pretty bad, to say the least.
Yes.
I think it was overall, other than the PSP and the tertiary Assassin's Creed type games. It was one of the lowest rated ones, especially after
See,
what is Black Flag was amazing.
oh yeah. See, the crazy thing was though that I didn't get the glitches that everyone was experiencing.
Oh, I sure as hell did. So, and we've talked about it on the show. Like,
Oh yeah.
I popped in and I was standing on top of a crowd surfing pretty much. And
Oh, dude, that's what you do in French Revolution.
yeah, but I wasn't
Paris.
popping Molly and like, hanging out with glow sticks. It wasn't something whatever. But so, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I loved it. It is a triumphant return back to, I wouldn't say status quo because it is different. There is differences in the gameplay. They've definitely upped the ante on the fighting. It's way more visceral. It's very bloody,
Yes.
very. I mean, it always has been, but it's pretty rough. Like
It was brutal, Gangs of New York style.
it's street brawler-ish a little bit more, and the characters, the
Evie and Fry.
they are actually pretty funny. I found them engaging. I saw some
Jacob.
reviews. I found some reviews where people were a little less than thrilled with them for some reason, but I found them fun. Like, I enjoyed
I can't see
their banter.
I would have to see their arguments for it because I thought they were both, when you played, completely different to each other.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted.
Oh heck yeah, that's the thing. If they were both similar, like in any way, it was just gonna be boring. But the fact that Evie was the stealth master and Jacob was, let's go up in there and someone's getting a glass in the eye.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say the other big star of the game was London itself. It was amazing.
London was beautiful.
It was
And all the cop
horrible,
people.
and I did not want to be there. Like, I would never want to be there in real life at that time period because it was a terrible place at that time. But it was amazing. Like, and I'm excited to play the DLC with the Jack the Ripper stuff and all
I
that.
should have rented it tonight.
So, number 6. This is one you haven't played. Life is Strange.
Yes. Okay.
From Don't Not
90%.
Entertainment. Yes. This is one of those games where I want to tout how amazing it is and talk about it to really big detail, but at the same time, I don't want to spoil anything.
I've been told it's magnificent.
It is great. The story is amazing. It has a lot to do with science fiction, a little horror. It's got.
Is it Square Enix's play on Telltale Games? Because I know it's episodic.
Kinda. There's a lot more freedom as far as movement goes. It's actually Don't Nod Entertainment is the developer.
Really? I thought they had. Okay.
The Square Enix, I think,
it has its name.
published it. Yeah.
Okay.
But it how they develop the characters and the story is very, very enthralling, and how it's basically a tale of friendship and love and all that stuff, but then you throw in creepy Donnie Darko type stuff mixed with time reversal and all that other stuff, and it is an episodic game, but you have some really well developed character building and gameplay to boot. So it is a very good game. Again, I don't really want to give too much away, but there's a reason it's in my top 6. So that's my number 6, I should say. Number 5, Arkham Knight.
Loved it.
Yeah, there was a lot of backlash when it came out about the Batmobile, the whole Batsync stuff. I thought it was kind of I thought there was maybe a little too much Batsync levels. I didn't enjoy them as much as I do, the brawling, because the fighting in that game is always good. But I still thought it was an amazing. And the storyline, as a Batman DC person, it was very good.
Yeah. My favorite thing is everyone talking about he's shooting it from a tank and hitting those people.
Yeah, but they're beanbags, technically, I think.
And he's shooting it from a smaller gun that you haven't seen, and they talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, y'all, calm down.
Yeah, it's...
Plus, he's also at war, so who cares?
Yeah, well, it is Batman. But, I mean, there's some crazy stuff, and it definitely... It fits into its own... That's a thing with the Arkham line. They're their own mythos. They don't necessarily follow the comics or the movies or anything. It is its own Bat mythos. It follows its own storyline. Each character is a lot different than they are in the comics. I mean, there are similarities, but...
Let's just say when it came to their villain choices, there were at least two that I had no idea who they were because they went and grabbed them from comic books from forever ago.
The thing is, I did know pretty much, but at the same time,
they're
that's where
forever ago, and they grabbed from comic books.
But that's why, as someone who's been reading DC Comics for 30 years,
I'm sorry, they came out yesterday.
Yes, they came out yesterday. I can honestly say though that they did a good job, way better than the non-Rocksteady games.
I still like Arkham Origins because it sets thing up, and of course that set them up to make this one. So.
Yeah, they set it up for them to knock it out of the park.
That's what they wanted.
Next game, number 4 on the list, is Fallout 4, which is the game that I spent the most time with of any game this entire year.
I like it. It's not that high on my list.
And then I understand that, and I think the reasoning... I mean, okay, my take on it, where it's not as high on some people's list, is I think, one, you get bogged down a lot with the building stuff rather than the story.
Yeah, that they did go crazy with. Which, don't get me wrong, they just made it Minecraft with Fallout stuff.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that.
Which is awesome, and it's just you get carried away, and it's like, oh...
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
I probably spent more time building my civilizations and my settlements than actually playing storyline. Like,
probably wouldn't have had a problem with it, except Preston freaking had a mission to go find one every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's what felt like over 50 settlements.
Yeah, I could tell you my first trip, if you haven't played the game, relocate Preston to another settlement once you can. Otherwise, he's going to be coming to you every 20 seconds. That's what I've learned, is move some of those people to other settlements. That way, you're left alone. That's why, just leave me alone. I will do my thing when I need to do it. And that helped quite a bit. I mean, I completed it. I got 100%. I played on the Xbox for that one. And I got 100% achievements. I 100% of the game. It's the first game I've done. Mm-hmm. But it's the first game that I've done that much that it's not my number one. So even I have to admit there were some shortcomings with story, with this and with that. But at the same time, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just because it's number 4 doesn't mean that I thought it was bad. If it's in my top 10 at all, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
So number 3... is Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Donkey Balloons. That was amazing. You played it, right?
Oh yeah, I've played the game. I haven't gotten crazy into it. Let's just say the last mission I did was the honeybee or the honey badger.
Okay.
With the rocket launcher.
So, it kind of the thing with this game is it did right what I think Fallout was trying to do. This, building the settlement, building Mother Base, building all that stuff, getting supplies, all that stuff. You technically do that in Metal Gear, but I think it did it right. A little bit more right, I guess, than Fallout did.
That's because the game knew what it had to build.
Right. You didn't have to do all the nuanced stuff, which I enjoy, but the average, I enjoy world builder games. I enjoy Minecraft. I enjoy stuff like Little Big Planet. I enjoy that kind of stuff where I create stuff. There's a lot of people out there that do not. They just want to play the game. And I understand that, and I think that's what this game did well, is you're still getting supplies, you're still getting stuff, and you still have to do a grind to a certain extent, but I think it's a little more enjoyable comparative to Fallout. Now, the actual story and everything, excuse me, it is a very amazing swan song for Kojima, though. It's kind of almost an FU at this point, how well received it is and how they pretty much kicked him out of the nest is what it feels like.
Yeah. But it's okay. He's settled up in a nice little area now.
Yeah,
with Sony.
With Sony, they're going to pretty much go, here's money. You can actually hear the truck. If you put your hand up to your ear, you can hear the beeping of it dumping tons of cash into his office. So
you're just going to make gold, so...
Yeah, it was an amazing game, and again...
It's sad to see that there's probably not going to be another one.
Oh, no, there'll be another one, but it won't be Kojima.
Yeah, I'm saying, think about that. It's not another one. It's just it's a name at that point.
Yeah. So, and then number 2 Definitely my number two, not your number two, and we'll go over yours a little bit in a minute. Rise of the Tomb Raider, Crystal Dynamics. Love these guys. Love the first one. I've talked about it on the game before, being on the show before. I've played. I played back in the. It came out on the PS3, if I remember right.
The
Yeah, the first one
for Tomb Raider. Yes.
Yeah, and then I played it on PS3. Then I played it on 360, and then I played it on PS4, and then I played it on Xbox One. I've beaten it on all those. The first one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love this franchise. I'm a huge adventure, action, Uncharted, Assassin's Creed. I love those kind of games. And this is, to me, the best one of those kind of games this year. By far. I mean, in my point of view.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and
it was really good.
It was very good. They give you a lot more area to play around in each little sub area. There's still not Siberia, but sub area, which it pretty much never mind.
Dance.
I and I might talk about this a little bit more in what's in our system, because it is the last game that I played on this list. So I might, on our next show, get a little more detail into it. But I highly enjoyed it. You liked it. Kind of sad that it's only on Xbox right now, because I think it sold barely 1 million copies, which is still a lot, but because it's only on Xbox or Xbox 360, and then I guess PC, but kind of. Excuse me. So hopefully when it comes over to PS4, it'll get quite a few more people will get to play the game. So, and my number one game of the year was Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and you agree 100% with this.
Hell yeah.
So,
that's not a cuss word.
A big giant game, lots of big RPG, could be boring, is not, never is.
Pretty much Game of Thrones in a video game.
Pretty much mixed with
a unicorn.
I mean, there are a lot of fetch unicorn. There are a lot of fetch missions. I will give you that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of
other things
to do, and
medieval Grand Theft Auto.
CD Projekt Red Studio, they went crazy with the free DLC and the DLC.
Yeah, they did. They were very generous with that.
The DLC stuff they gave away for free added a lot, and then the new DLC that came out, the last one, added 10, 15 more hours or something like that, a gameplay or something like that. And the next one's adding another up to 20. I mean, it's a very big game. Replay value, they added a
new game plus.
New game plus. So all the stuff you've earned, you have right off the bat when you restart it. Maybe I'll do that after all the DLC, but I don't know. It's so long. It is such a long game.
Take a while.
But it is a very good game. Highly recommend it. Definitely great game. My game of the year, your game of the year. Now, you had a few deviations from all these. I know one of them is Bloodborne.
That's at number 2.
That was number 2 for you.
Hell yeah.
One of the reasons
that was my frustrated game.
It wasn't on my list is one, because those games make me want to break my controller, and I've just kind of given up on playing them. And I know there's a huge learning curve, and I know all of you guys were playing it at one point and enjoying it. And I'll probably step into that world and then hate myself afterwards. But I know it was a very good game for what it was. I believe it's From Software. I think so. If I believe.
Dear gosh, they made something so good.
So,
and the DLC is apparently supposed to be even better.
Really?
Yes.
So, and then the other game, and I will. It was on the very edge of my top 10. It almost got swapped out a few times. I kind of, but was Rainbow Six Siege.
That was number 3.
And we'll get into some of our disappointments in a moment, but after some of the disappointments was for some of the shooters this year, it was refreshing. I enjoyed it. It's one of those, there's complexity in its simplicity. It's a very, very, simple idea of capture this, hold
Yes,
this,
it
do
is.
that, but there's a lot of complexity
It's
to it.
straight up tactical. If you think you're going to run in there like Call of Duty, be prepared to
Oh, and you
die
see
a
those
lot.
guys. You see those guys, and it is great. And we'll definitely, again, because this is one of our latter the games we played.
About it in the show.
In the show, we'll
You
talk
better
about it.
believe I am.
It is a fantastic game. Actually, it is our competitive console gaming game of the year or whatever.
Oh,
But
yeah.
so
Will say it is so much better when you have a team of people to play with.
Oh.
Playing with randoms, it is going to be difficult.
it is mind-numbingly. I want to shoot myself in the foot.
Unless you're playing Terrorist Hunt. Then
Actually, I have exploded myself so that I didn't have to play a few times. We will talk about it to probably very great extent on the next episode of TFGP. Now, before we go, I wanted to get into a few of our disappointments. Now, the disappointment section doesn't mean necessarily that we thought they were the worst games in the world. We might have enjoyed them, but there was some stuff that kept them off our list and was very disappointing to keep it. Number one was Battlefront. I enjoyed the hell out of the game. I thought it was really fun for about a week.
Yeah.
That was my problem.
It helped me up until the movie came out.
Yeah. And after that, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Which is, as someone who is Oh, go ahead.
I was like, at that point, I felt like I was playing Battlefield.
Well, and as someone who is a huge Star Wars nut, like I read all of the comics, I read all of the books. Speaking of which, okay, no real story in the game, but they came out with a hardback. They sent it to me. A hardback. I swear this thing is like 6 inches thick, like book. It's huge. It's a story, and I'm like, why didn't they just put this in the game? But it feels like a game that's missing a lot of stuff. It feels like another game that all of us were really big fans of, that felt like it was missing stuff after a few weeks.
Bungie.
Yeah.
But we'll say they turned it around with The Taken King.
The Taken King, and we played the hell out of that.
I played the mess out
of
it.
I played with you.
Cussed right there.
I played. Well, we can. Hell's fine. But I played the hell out of you and a bunch of the group.
Played the hell out of me.
Yes, I played the hell out of you with
damn.
you and Colby and a few other people when we went through the raids. Yeah, and that was fun. But again, what was it about? 3 weeks.
Once you beat it, there's nothing really to do.
And that's, we think about it.
Waiting.
Like, I'm not going to probably go back and play Rise of Tomb Raider very much, or this or that after 2 weeks. So, I mean, there is that, but it is supposed to be a game that we pick up and play all the time, and
it's just from what they say, they will keep pushing out stuff.
Yeah.
The Sparrow Racing won't get me though. That's not enough to drag me.
I tried. It wasn't my cup of tea.
But I will say, Bungie, good job for turning that around, because you did a good job.
They did turn around, and I'm really hoping that Battlefront
will do the same.
I'm a little nervous because of that. Was it $50 DLC? Yeah. And
it's rumored not even to have any new stuff. It's just all the same. It's nothing from the new movie.
So, Animal Crossing, what was it? The
Happy Home Design.
Happy Home Design was a bit of a disappointment. I kind of knew what I was getting into. We might talk about it on the next episode. But
it's Animal Crossing meets Pokemon cards.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. And I love design. I'm actually, engineering, architecture, that kind of stuff is great. And it was fun for probably about 2 or 3 days, and then I got super bored. Now, the last game on our wish it was better list, I guess, is Halo 5. For me, at least. Guardians.
That was the biggest disappointment for me, because they got me to the point where I thought I was so excited. To me, I personally yes, the commercials that they did weren't completely a lie, but they were misleading.
The game was boring. I mean, that was my biggest thing, is the game was boring.
Now, I will give it to them. They did step up their game for multiplayer. Their multiplayer was fun. The Warzone was
fun, but everything else was kind of lacked. Yeah.
The story was terrible, and where they're going with it, I do not like.
The lack of customization for the multiplayer, they took away more than they gave. And that's what I felt like with the multiplayer. The campaign, you took away couch co-op. That's fine. I'm fine playing with online with friends because it's mostly what I'm going to play. But at the same time, I didn't want to. Nobody wanted to play the campaign.
Make it a good dang story.
Yeah, so it was a big disappointment. Now, do I think it was the worst game? No. And it's playable. It's definitely a playable game.
Oh, yeah, I'll play it again with people. I just know what I would rather wait till it's literally cheap again.
Yeah. I would when they have the collection for it.
Ooh, I can't even think about what my worst game would be.
My worst game of the year was Wander.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, I explained this one on the show. I was actually in the beta, so I was like the closed, for press only beta kind of thing, and I was thinking, this is something that it sounds interesting, but it was an RPG, an MMO RPG that was no combat. It was all about exploration, and I'm like, well, I like exploration games. This should be fun. I would have rather watched paint dry in my eye. Like this is literally what it breaks down to is you start off as a tree, there's a bunch of people walking around really slowly, nobody's talking to each other, nobody knows how to talk to each other, nobody knows what to do. You play for about 2 hours, you get frustrated, you come back to try to play again. I tried after the beta, I tried about 4 or 5 times. Like, it was so bad that I sent them a letter because we were supposed to do a review copy of it and said, this is not even worth my time. This isn't even a finished game. And it's sad. It was so sad. Like, I was actually really upset because I am probably one of the most chill game reviewers you are ever going to meet. I will give lots of passes on stuff. I will go, okay, that horse just spawned halfway inside that wall. Oh well. Like, I'll deal with it if that's the only thing. This game was the Golden Turd Award winner from 2015. Like, it was just the worst POS that I have played this year. And I'm very, very sad for these developers. I think they're Australian, so our PAX Australia stuff might be might not be great this year, but that was my worst one. Can you think of anything before we're...
Not at the top of my head, other than stuff that I've heard about from 2 of my friends who played NBA 2K16.
I've seen a lot of stuff.
With the story, especially if you play as a...
That's a Spike Lee one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if you play a Caucasian person. Apparently, you're raised in Compton.
Well, of course.
Because, yeah.
Oh,
straight out of Compton?
Straight out of it.
Okay. So I was just like, really?
Well, I mean, it does happen, so at least you're not a fucking... Sorry. Frickin' tree. Frackin' tree. That walks around not communicating with people, so...
That's how upset he was with Wander.
Yes, Wander is my current Superman 64.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a low point.
Oh,
no.
Well, guys, thank you for listening. We're going to have a new episode of TFGP, hopefully very soon. Hopefully we're going to record tomorrow, at how it sounds. It has been a very long time. Thank you guys for being patient. We're going to get stuff out more often, actually every week. Make sure to check out Cinelinks.com for all your nerd news. And go look at SCNS Live on YouTube. That's SCNS Live. You can look up some of our stuff on the Cinelinks YouTube. You can check out all of our shows on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, your mom, I don't know. It's pretty much everywhere now.
Everywhere.
And so this is great to be back and record. I'm happy that I'm alive. I'm pretty sure I'm like in that. I'm like Schrodinger's cat, though, a little bit, but we'll see how that goes.
Or I'm dead as well.
Or you're all dead. Well, I'm pretty sure if I die, the world stops existing. So that's just...
Or I've just joined you.
Yes. So...
Then dead.
Thank you for listening, and say bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thank you for listening, and as always, achieve greatness.